Hi, this is not a real VTuber channel, I don't live stream, and I make video content about whatever I want to talk about. Today in this video, I kind of want to elaborate on what I mean by all this. I'll start with a little bit of background. So I've been fascinated by VTubers for a little while, and with the kind of stuff that I like, anime, manga, art, 2D cutout animations, being real specific with that one, live 2D cubism was something that intrigued me. It worked a lot like a motion captured version of what I already enjoyed dabbling in with 2D cutout stuff, and the idea of making something with my art in this way was rather enticing. But of course, me not being a real big budget kind of dude and somehow having the patience to learn Blender, but not something like Live 2D, I tried wrapping my brain around how I could pull this sort of thing off on a reasonable budget of whatever I have lying around, as well as expanding my existing cutout style into something like Blender, and thus begun the journey. For a good few months to almost a year, I went on trying to recreate the full magic of VTubers.
Why is that strand of hair going up his nose?
Magic and recreating that in Blender. And without streaming or anything like that. I scoured the corners of YouTube, watching rigging tutorials, watching model showcases, just to see like how I could move pieces around in Blender in such a way that doesn't look too janky or distracting looking. Something that at least looks, for the most part, like what I'm trying to recreate. And of course, you know, watching tons of funny VTuber clips.
It's of the utmost importance. Alright.
That last part wasn't required, but I really enjoy watching groups of people dunk on one another and show off a bit of fun chemistry. And from there, after drawing up a nice little rig sheet, spending some quality time with Blender, trying, failing, trying again at rigging, all that fun stuff. And from that, I made this little model over here. I'll admit, it was a pain to figure out, and it took a maddening amount of time to figure out how to rig bones, import images as planes, getting said planes and their nodes to configure right to where you don't have this weird little white outline around the pieces to where it just looks really weird and janky and all that stuff. And, you know, making sure that everything is fitting in the right place and not clipping into one another. Figuring out the constraints of the project, you know. And overall, I think it turned out pretty good. I liked it. It turned out how I wanted to. I can pose it, I can animate it, and I can, you know, make one giant string of animation that I can just cut up and clip and stitch back together over videos I record. And, you know, not take too long, you know, like a measly little, like, 5 to 8 hours to export 1,600 to 700 individual frames of animation. You know, fun stuff like that. And what you may be asking is the purpose of this video? Creating a VTuber that can't be streamed, can't be motion tracked well, and showing off that it's not real and how we're all living in the Matrix up to this point? Well, it was a fun project. Many think you need thousands of dollars of softwares and professionals to make your project a reality. Something that acts like a barrier of entry for some. Things that they think they need to call themselves a VTuber. I see the same thing in the film world, thinking you need fancy cameras and crazy budgets to be a filmmaker. Speaking to my fellow creatives, artists, and content creators as a totally not joking, self-proclaimed fake VTuber, if you got the passion and you put your mind to it, you can make a surprising amount of things happen for yourself. The only person stopping you from being a real artist or a real VTuber is you. Just go out there, use what you got, and just have fun. Anyways, hope this video gave you a little bit of enjoyment for a few minutes, and stick around for some fun videos. I don't know how many I'll make, but if you find that you like this sort of thing, definitely tune in. The door is always open at the Doom Room Bebop.